So moving along, let's talk about the legal protection that every project needs. And I have to say this, and let me just plug your YouTube channel here.
Okay, great.
You have some really excellent content on your channels. I think you have your own channel, right?
Yes, my own channel.
And then there's also a metal channel.
Yes. We try to give little tidbits of information. My channel is a little more informational as far as like tutorials on maybe short subjects like reality TV shows or music or manager contracts. And metal's a little more where we're just trying to give maybe an explanation of a case that just came down or kind of give our point of view on something that happened in the news. So we kind of just like to keep our clients informed that way.
Well, I've looked at both channels, and I was really impressed. And I think it's awesome that you're providing that. So, I'm just going to plug that. I know if you go to the metallawgroup.com site, there's a link to the Metal channel. Now, on my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Lightedstar, I have a link to yours.
Okay.
I discovered yours first. So for anyone listening in, be sure to check those out. They're amazing. And if you like this, you'll love that. And they're really nice snippets, easy to digest snippets. So with that said, jumping back into the legal protection every project needs, just speak to that and what you see as, things that your clients prospectively overlook.
Okay. Well, like when someone comes into me, I usually go through a short checklist to kind of see how everything is put together before they get to me. The first thing I always ask them is, do they have an entity formed? Like, do they have a corporate structure? Do they have a limited liability company? Because that's very key, because people aren't going to want to deal with you if you're just an individual. They're going to want to deal with a business, and that's just very important to have that developed. So that is either you have it developed or you have plans on getting it developed, maybe when something happens. There are other things to think about with that, sometimes like tax issues and timing. Like you never want to form an LLC in December because you'll get taxed for that whole previous year. You always want to wait for January. But essentially you need to think about your corporate structure. That's the first thing. The second thing is IP protection, your intellectual property. I mean, that's really what your entire project is. It's intellectual property. These creative concepts that are put together. So you need to make sure that you have your copyrights on your. If it's like a script, you make sure you get the earlier versions copywritten and also register with the WGA to make sure you have something official that says that this is yours. I deal with a lot of idea theft, and it's impossible to really go after someone for idea theft. Well, first of all, ideas aren't copyrightable, but as they move into concepts, they start obtaining copyright protection. But if there's nothing registered, then you have no recourse at all. So that's the second thing is IP protection and your trademarks. If you're creating a television series and you've created a few shows, and you have a name that you want to be on that series, then you need to consider trademark. You can't trademark a title, but you can trademark a series. So that's another area I always look at. And then your contracts. You need contracts for everything. You need your rights. You need to make sure that you have all the rights in your pilot locked up. You need to make sure you have contracts with the people, the creators of the project, and contracts come up everywhere. So location projects, location agreements, product placement agreements. Those are always things that I always make sure the project has. And then the last thing is just advice. Usually there's always a legal question about something. So I think that's kind of the thing that every project needs, at least some kind of advice, because everyone has kind of, even attorneys have questions about whether a certain law applies here or not. Like for instance, fair use. That's like a big area because there's no concrete law for that. You just have to know when you're allowed to use something without getting permission versus when you need to get permission. So those are the kind of checklists I go through.